Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey, welcome to the Markout Movie Podcast.
We're back. Been gone for feels like several weeks. We're back though.
Yeah, we're back.
Back.
I'm tired. I'm just tired. I'll get to it
Ben,
though. I'll get excited in a minute. Woo. So
oh,
on today's episode, Aaron's wearing Aladdin,
are you?
which is kind of
Yeah.
ironic. I'm gonna go into it why it's ironic, but it's ironic.
Why is it ironic?
I was telling Brittany earlier about a new world.
Oh,
That's all I'm gonna say.
it's ironic for you. Okay, I got you.
It's ironic because the Brave New World.
Yeah. Well, in this Brave New episode, we're going to be dealing with Serial Mom, the 1994 film by John Waters. For those that don't know, John Waters is a director who most famously, he did some stuff back in the 70s, 80s, more explorative stuff with Divine. But I know him mainly for two movies, Hairspray and Crybaby. John Waters. He also popped up in Seed of Chucky as well.
That's who he is?
Yeah.
Okay, I know him more for Seed of Chucky.
He
Although I
popped up
have seen those
Yeah.
other two movies, but I definitely remember him for Seed of Chucky.
You remember seeing him in Seed of Chucky?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, he has a very specific look, like with the little pencil mustache. Yeah, but yeah, it's John Waters. He, like I said, did Hairspray. He did Crybaby's my favorite John Waters film. I would say, although I did see Hairspray plenty of times growing up. That's where I discovered Ricky Lake, which she's also in this movie. So,
is that the one with Travolta as the mom?
Yeah, that's it. That's
Okay.
it. Well, later in the musical remake, Travolta was the mother. In the original, it was Divine. Divine was the mother.
So he did the original?
Yeah, he did the original. He actually directed the original. The remake, he just produced it, I guess.
Okay. I haven't seen the original. So.
The original was pretty decent. It was like it was good. I liked it. I liked it more than the remake. But yeah. So anyway, this movie, Serial Mom.
We'll get to
it. Starring Kathleen Turner, who I would say most famously was in Romancing the Stone. I knew her from Peggy Sue Got Married.
Yeah.
She played opposite Nicolas Cage, and Jim Carrey's also. Yeah. A very young Kathleen Turner at that point. But yeah, she was like a well-established actress. So her taking on this role was like, it was like they said that a lot of her team tried to tell her don't do this movie because it's more exploitative, like with John Waters. But I think that I can't see no one else playing this role. I thought she did an excellent job as the Serial Mom.
Yeah, I would say no one, but during that time period, like the mid '90s, I can't really think of anyone other than my mind's just blank. I can't think of anyone but Sandra Bullock that was really big.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Sally Field. She was still kind of big at that point. But
Kathy Bates, maybe.
Kathy Bates could have done it. With ease. She could have done it.
See, the difference is like Kathleen Turner doesn't lean towards horror.
Yeah.
And so to see her play a horror type of character was in a comedic way. was interesting. Whereas like with Kathy Bates, she is a horror queen. I don't know if people give her flowers, man, but she's excellent in the genre. So
Yeah, she
she's
is.
excellent in any genre she's in, really.
What I like about this, though, you mentioned Ricky Lake was in this, but so was Matthew Lillard. Pre-Stu. I mean, this is pre-Stu, and he, I don't know, man. He was odd in this. Like, big horror
But
fan, but he was just odd. He was an odd
yeah,
character.
I was going to ask you about that. Did you see a little bit of Stu in his character in this, like his like love of horror and the way that he kind of? I love that he worked at a video store, by the way. I
Yeah.
thought that.
Honestly, no. I didn't see. I saw more of Dawson Leary in him in this. They had the same hairstyle. They both worked at a video store. Big horror buff. I saw more of that kind of character. I saw a future filmmaker instead of a future serial killer.
Yeah, I understand. Also in this film, just want to point him out, Sam Waterston, who I know mainly from Law and Order.
That's right. He was in that.
He's the dad in this movie. He was great. He is great as the father, the loving, doting dad who just is just baffled by the fact that his wife is a serial killer.
Yeah.
But I still love it.
But I back in the day when I saw this, the reason I watched was because of what was his name? Justin. I can't think of his last name. Whalen, whatever.
Waylon?
He just came off Child's Play 3. So he played Andy Barclay. So and then he did this, and so I was so disappointed with his character, the result, of what happens to him. Like, it was just so ironic that he gets, well, I guess we're spoiling it, right? He gets killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie was 1994, so if you hadn't seen Serial Mom, I don't know, it's on Tubi. So yeah, you can watch it.
It's Tubi like in a week or two. So yeah.
But yeah, he was like very noticeable. I remembered him. I was like, where did I see him from? And that's what it was. It was Child's Play.
Yeah, I would have thought he would have had a bigger career.
Oh Lord, Salithia told us to break down the phone call scene. So she has.
Can you break that down? I know you like to keep it PG, and it's definitely not PG.
Not PG. Well, I could say that she. It involves a certain type of flower, pussy willows. That's what I could say. And it's just like, for some reason, and they show you why, but at first you're like, why is she torturing this woman? She has been prank calling this woman and cussing her out, and the movie starts with the police showing up at the serial mom's house, and is like, the calls seem like do you know anything about this? But she's the one making the calls, and it's all because this lady, not realizing that she pulled into her parking spot, and there was enough to incur her wrath. Anything you do, if you don't recycle, you can get it. If you put too many nuts in someone's cookie, it could be you. It could be you.
Yeah.
Give us a quote, man. You trying to get me messed up? Brandon, you have a quote?
Not at the moment. I would have had one if we would have shot it last week, but no, I don't have a quote.
Here's a quote. A quote from the movie. Let's see. It's gonna be hard to say. Dottie Hinkle. Hello, Beverly. Is this the sucker's resident? It's the Sea Suckers resident. God dang you! Stop calling here. Is this 4215 P word way? Just like, just matter of fact, I won't say it, but here you go. I just show you. There you go.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, it's got some language.
Well, here's the thing, though. Everybody that dies, except for maybe Justin's character, I felt had it coming. Especially the boyfriend of her daughter. He has it coming. Yes, got one. He makes fun of Pee Wee Herman the dog. He just made the list. He's got to go.
Yeah,
That's the first thing I saw. I was like, well, he just made the list. I can't wait to see him die.
his death was the funniest of the deaths, I think, because his death was like he he's that type of scream, and he getting like stabbed in the back with like a poking iron, with like a fireplace poker, and then like his spleen, I think, or something ends up. I don't know what it is. Ends up on the end of it, and so she like takes it off and doesn't really wash off the thing. Just puts it back on the table.
Yeah, it was like hanging on like a runny nose. I think that's the quote. The woman said. It wasn't just blood. It was like gore, but it was hanging like a runny nose.
Yeah. Also, Tracy Lord pops up in that scene, who was a adult actress who transformed into like an actress, a B actress, I say, maybe a D actress, maybe not even a B, a D actress. Yeah, but mainly through John Waters.
I know what you did there. I do. I saw it. I feel you.
I did not mean for that. But yeah, what was your thoughts on Ricky Lake in this movie as Misty? Misty, she just wants love.
Okay, you want I hear some honest truth here. I forgot she existed. Like, I forgot she had her own talk show. I forgot all about Ricky Lake until I watched this movie. I was like, oh yeah, she used to be something. She used to be in the business. I didn't mean it like she used to be something. She used to be in the business. Whatever happened to her? That's what I kept thinking every time I would see her on screen. It's like I didn't look her up or nothing. So I was like, it was just interesting because I completely forgot she was in this. I forgot Matthew Lillard was in this. I knew Kathleen Turner was in this.
Arguably, this person that came from this movie is Matthew Lillard.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't even rewatching it. I was like, I didn't expect him to have the kind of career he's had. After watching this, I mean, I didn't see Stu in him at this point. Mm-hmm. I didn't see Shaggy. I didn't see anything he's done like Five Nights at Freddy's. I didn't see him going on to somewhat to be a horror. Well, he is a horror icon. I mean, he's freaking Stu Macher, man. He's in
the South is horror icon for sure. Like if he doesn't do another horror film, matter of fact, the fact that he is so iconic as a horror icon that in a totally different movie that's unrelated, which is Five Nights at Freddy's, he could do the swipe, and we immediately know Stu Macher.
Yeah. And he's even iconic in 13 Ghosts. I mean, I don't like the movie, but he is.
What do you rate this movie in the category of 90s dark drama? I don't know. Dark drama, I don't know. Like, this would be, what else would be a dark drama? I would say maybe Attack on Mars Attack might be a dark drama. I don't know what you consider. It's like more of a dark comedy. 90s dark comedies, I don't know. There's different categories. Like I don't know if it's in the 90s, but I like Dogma. I thought that was probably my favorite. I don't know. What would you consider to be dark comedy? Because this would be a dark comedy.
Talking to me? Talking to her?
No, I'm talking to you.
Oh, me, a dark comedy? I thought Cable Guy was dark comedy.
Yeah.
I could see Mars Attacks, but also more satire. This would definitely be dark comedy / satire. I don't know.
They list American Psycho as a dark comedy, which
Yes,
I
that,
never.
that is definitely dark comedy.
Is that really?
I didn't get it at the time, but yeah, it's definitely a dark comedy. I think that's why I didn't like it originally because I didn't understand it. I didn't get what it was meant to be when I first watched it.
Dark comedy, I'll say in the 90s, I'm looking them up. I had to just re-familiarize myself with them. I'll say Fargo's on that list, and I think Fargo is, to me, the definitive dark comedy in the 90s. Fargo is just an absolute stellar movie. It's a 5-star movie. Just like, period. I think that Fargo is just one of the greatest films that ever been made. So I put Fargo on that list in the 90s.
Would you consider? I don't know.
Oh, Death Becomes Her. Death Becomes Her.
Yeah, that's probably top of my list, honestly. But would you consider like any Quentin Tarantino a dark comedy?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. From Dusk to Dawn is a dark comedy. Reservoir Dogs, I guess, is a dark comedy. Yeah, all his stuff in the 90s. I say, like, Pulp Fiction. Yeah, you're right. All that. Also, Four Rooms is a dark comedy. It's one of the best. Have you ever seen Four Rooms?
I don't think so. It's not ringing a bell. So
it has Tim Roth in it. He's like a bellhop, and he works at a hotel, and he gets 4 different calls through that night, and he has to go tend to their rooms, and each one is more insane. I'm gonna if it's screaming anywhere, that's what I'll choose. It's on Pluto TV. You got Pluto?
I got Pluto.
All right, that's what we can choose next week. Four Rooms. I want you to see it. All right. But yeah, Quentin Tarantino stuff for sure. The reason why I bring it up is Quentin Tarantino, I think, directs a portion of that film. Like him, Robert Rodriguez, and 2 other people direct. For like each room has a different director.
Oh, yeah, I've definitely never seen it.
Yeah.
So,
but good question though. So back to the movie. So she's essentially terrorizing her neighbor. She has another neighbor that loves Fabergé eggs. It's the first time I ever heard of the Fabergé egg. And now every time I think of a Fabergé egg, I immediately think of this movie. But one thing I didn't notice until watching this movie again is that lady, I think, has a fake eye. I never noticed that until like a glass eye. I never noticed it until watching this movie.
I didn't notice it.
Mary Jo Khaled.
You talking about the neighbor, the nosy neighbor?
The nosy neighbor, the one that kind of comes on in her house.
Yeah, I never did notice that. So good eye.
See what you did. Yeah, she was a big character actress, mainly in the 80s. But yeah, I just enjoyed how insane this mother was, and just how she didn't really care that she's hurt people. It didn't really care if she got caught. She was like, I don't think she cared.
Honestly, I think this is a relatable film today. Not so much of the killing aspect, just because they always talk about how narcissists are, right? Mm-hmm. They pretend like they care, but they really don't. And I feel like she played this perfectly. Like she was truly a narcissist, and just with a killing spree, she went on a killing spree. But yeah, I felt like this would be very relatable to what someone is like as a narcissist. You know,
mm-hmm.
They put on a fake smile. The personality's fake. It is, it's what it really made me think of. It's like, man, this is so relatable today. How she's acting with her family and with other people that think she's like the nicest person, and I mean, I was like, wow.
And she essentially gets away with it. But before we get there, so I agree with you as far as like Justin Whalen's character, Scotty. I didn't really like how his character was just overwhelmingly like the horny best friend. And you've seen this trope, and maybe that's why they did it. You've seen this trope where you have the best friend of the brother. You think about Adventures in Babysitting. The best friend was kind of the hornball. Always has like the magazine or something like that, or any of those movies like that where you have the best friend and he's like the he's just really like full of hormones. This is this kid to a comedic level, like that room scene with him. I love that. I love the suspense in that scene of you don't know if she's breaking into his house or breaking into someone else's house because you see the people eating the chicken or the butt, and you're just not sure. Stop it. You're not sure if who it is. It is. But then, yeah. But yeah. Go ahead, keep talking.
But yeah, he's got a porn addiction, and he's I don't know. He's an interesting character. He's got a nice little car. He's just a very interesting character. But he does make the big mistake of watching Kathleen Turner kill somebody through a window. Well, she sees him through a window. He's kind of climbing up the top of the house or a fence or something. I forget. I know Matthew Lillard and his sister are climbing up top of the house. But yeah, you're back.
Yeah.
Was he watching through a fence or was he watching through a house?
He was on top of the like a shed.
Shed. Okay, I thought he was on top of something.
That was the most comedic with the with her killing her with a roast. It's because she did.
Yeah, it was so insane. Yeah. Like I kept trying to defend her because in a weird way, it's just like, well, I mean,
she loved Annie, so she died doing what she loved.
Yeah.
It's not the way she would probably want to go out via ham hock or whatever it was that roast with a bone in, but she got beat, and then the dog ate. The dog enjoyed it. The dog also had a lick of feet, which we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, it was crazy.
But you mentioned it, so therefore the audience feels you need to talk about it because you mentioned licking some feet.
She makes the dog lick her feet, which she shouldn't have done that. That's bad. That's animal cruelty. But anyway. That alone.
Where I thought you were going to go with that. But.
That's why she needed to be let go of life.
But I mean, except for Justin, did you feel that any of the characters she killed didn't deserve it?
No.
I mean, in a satire situation here, not in real life.
Other than Patty Duke, the one that played Patty Duke at the end.
Yeah.
Patty Duke was the juror that was wearing white after Labor Day. Patty Duke was famous for being she was like the heir to a fortune, and she was taken hostage and then end up kind of being like being controlled by her hostage since where she started robbing banks with him. Patty Duke was famous for that. That was Patty Duke. She got killed because she wore white after Labor Day.
Or white after Labor Day.
That's the only person that should have died. It'd been funny if they would have killed. Um, Everything would have been okay if they would have just killed Suzanne Summers, baby.
I'm shocked she didn't kill the witness.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, she killed Justin, and that's okay. So here's what I really don't understand about this movie. Okay, Justin gets killed because he witnesses her killing somebody, but the stoner doesn't die. The other guy doesn't die. Did she just have it out for Justin?
I think so. She didn't like him.
That's just something I never have understood why she killed him. And gruesomely killed him. I mean, she set him on fire at a concert, a rave kind of a situation. And I was like, and got cheered for it. I mean, it's just, it bothers me. It bothers me today. Like, it bothered me back then, but it still bothers me. I was like, man, the one character I really actually liked, despite his porn addiction.
Scotty doesn't know why he got out.
Yeah, I mean,
but gotta get taken out. But yeah, I think that it was tragic, but I think she didn't like her. But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and give our marks. Yeah, you go first.
I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. I enjoyed it. I didn't like it as much this time as I did when I was a teenager, but I still had fun with it. It was a solid movie about a satire movie about a woman, a housewife, going on a killing spree. I mean,
I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
I thought it was fun. It's fresh score, but so next week I will choose 4 Rooms. I think that you should see that movie. And if you've seen it, then we'll choose something else. But
I have not seen it.
What do we want the people to do?
If you like this episode and you want to see more, click that like, click that subscribe, and share and comment on the Mark Out Movie Podcast.
And Whitlow,
Brandon Spivey.
Thank you for marking out with us here on the Mark Out Movie Podcast. You have a good day.